class, today we're going to be solving section 4.3a, solving quadratic equations by factoring. For our standardized test practice problem, we want to know which term is not a name for a solution to a quadratic equation. So we've been studying these over the past couple of sections. A zero is the name of a solution. An x-intercept is the name of a solution. A root is the name of a solution. The vertex is not a name for a solution because it's the highest or lowest point on the parabola, on the quadratic function. Okay, factored form. To write an equation, a quadratic equation with roots p and q, let x minus p times x minus q equals 0, then multiply using FOIL. So for our examples, we have the numbers 3 and -5. We're going to make p equal to 3 and q equal to -5. And what we do is we put in the equation the 3 for p and the -5 for q. Notice these two minuses stay. So we're going to have to simplify the second one and call it x plus 5. Now the way I like to do FOIL is this. I take the first parenthesis and I write it vertically, x minus 3. Both the x and the -3 are multiplied by the x plus 5. So I put times x plus 5 by both. And then I just distribute through. X times x is x squared plus x times 5, which is 5x. I go down to the second line, and when I multiply, I line these up under like terms over here. So -3 times x would be -3x. Notice I'm putting it under the 5x. And -3 times 5 is -15. Then we just draw a line underneath and we simplify. X squared plus 2x minus 15. That is the FOILed form of this equation. On B, we've got -8 and -2. So we're going to make P equal to -8, Q equal to -2. We put those in place of P and Q, and notice both have minus and negative, so we change those to pluses. Write the first one vertically, and then times both by the x plus 2. So we're going to distribute through. X times x is x squared plus x times 2, which is 2x. On the second one, 8 times x would be a positive 8x, and 8 times 2 would be a positive 16. Draw a line underneath and simplify. X squared plus 10x plus 16. Move out of the way for a minute and make sure y'all have that. Okay, go on to example C. We're going to make P equal 1 and 9 equal Q. We'll put a 1 and a 9 in place of P and Q, and then we'll simplify using FOIL. So write the first one vertically, x minus 1, multiply both by x minus 9. We have x times x is x squared minus x times 9, 9x. Negative 1 times x would be negative 1x. And negative 1 times negative 9 would be positive 9. Draw a line underneath. Simplify. X squared minus 10x plus 9. Now on D, notice you just have the number 5. When you see one like that, you're going to make P and Q both that number. So P equals 5, Q equals 5. Put in a 5 where P is, put in a 5 where Q is. Write the first parenthesis vertically. Multiply both parts by the other x minus 5. And we'll have x squared minus 5x. Go down to the second line, we'll have a negative 5x plus a 25. And we'll have x squared minus 10x plus 25. And I have failed to be putting the equals 0 on these, so let's go back and put in equals 0 on each of these. I'm going to go back and do the same thing on A and B. Equals 0 equals 0. Okay, now we're ready to move forward. All right, so solving equations by factoring. When you use factoring to solve a quadratic equation, you use the following property. That property is called the zero factor property. And so we will work through, and I'll show you when we get to the part that's the zero factor property. Okay, so when you factor, you first of all have to label your A, your B, and your C. So we have 1, 1, negative 30. Then we're going to take the A and the C and multiply them together. So 1 times negative 30 is negative 30. Second, we're going to find the numbers whose product is AC, or negative 30, and whose sum is B, which is 1. So I'm going to tell you that 6 and negative 5 are the two numbers, because 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, and 6 plus a negative 5 is 1. So that meets the conditions for finding the factors. The 6 is positive, so we put a plus 6 in one. The 5 is negative, so we put a minus 5 in the other. Now here's where the zero factor property comes from. You set both parentheses, or parts that are in parentheses, equal to 0, and you solve for x. So we'd have x plus 6 equals 0, x minus 5 equals 0. On the first one, we'll subtract 6 from both sides. So x will equal negative 6. And on the second one, we will add 5 to both sides. So x is equal to 5. You might want to notice too, if you just take the opposite of what these signs are in the parentheses, you find your solutions. Let's try another example. X squared plus 14x plus 33 equals 0. So x is 1, b is 14, and c is 33. we multiply the 1 and the 33, which gives us 33. Now we want to find the numbers whose product is 33 and whose sum is 14. So I'm going to tell you that 11 and 3 will work because 11 times 3 is 33 and 11 plus 3 is 14. Both of these are positive, so we'll put a plus 11 in one parenthesis and a plus 3 in the other parenthesis. Now we'll set both parts equal to 0. X plus 11 equals 0. X plus 3 equals 0. We'll subtract 11 from both sides to solve the first one for x. X will be negative 11. Notice again, it's just the opposite sign of this. Subtract 3 from both sides. X is negative 3. Again, it's the opposite of this. So we've just done our first couple of examples by factoring. Y'all learned this in Algebra 1, and this always gives students some trouble. And so hopefully by learning it a second time or refreshing your memory in Algebra 2, these will become easier for you. They will be an important skill to have for college algebra. Okay, another example. This time we've got x squared minus 16x plus 64 equals 0. X is 1, or excuse me, A is 1, B is negative 16, and C is 64. We multiply A and C together. 1 times 64 is 64. We want to find the number whose product is AC, or 64, and whose sum is B, or negative 16. Those two numbers are negative 8 and negative 8. Because negative 8 times negative 8 is 64. Negative 8 plus negative 8 is negative 16. The better you are at your multiplication facts, the easier fractions will, or excuse me, not fractions, the easier factoring will be. So if you haven't brushed up on your multiplication facts in a while, it might be a good idea to do so, and that will make this a lot easier for you to do. Okay, so we will use the above numbers to factor, so we will put a minus 8 in both parentheses. We'll set both equal to 0. Notice we're going to have the identical answer, but we're going to write it twice because it has two factors. So we add 8 to both sides. X is 8. We do the same thing here, add 8 to both sides. X is 8. And then we have, I believe, one final example. It's going to look a little bit different. Excuse me. This one's worked for us, but I wanted to walk you through it. If you've got an equation that looks similar to this, 3x squared equals 15x, what you want to do with the original equation is rewrite it in quadratic form, meaning set it equal to 0. So we would subtract a 15x from both sides, or pick the 15x up, move it to the left side and change the sign, make it the opposite. Then we want to factor the binomial. What that means is we want to find the greatest common factor that 3x squared and 15x have in common. That would be a 3x. So if you divide both of these by 3x, that's where the middle comes in. 3x squared divided by 3x is just x. Negative 15x divided by 3x is negative 5. Now you set both parts equal to 0 and solve for x. So here you're getting 0 because you're dividing both sides by 3. And 0 divided by anything is 0. And here you're getting 5 because you're adding 5 to both sides. So you still have two solutions, even if the problem looks a little bit different and you're noticing that you're missing a C term. Okay, well that wraps up section 4.3a. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you next time.